Hey guys, welcome back to Black, White, and the Grays. My name is Kylie, and welcome to our home. I have no idea. Okay, well, you're in my home. You're in my kitchen, actually. We're sitting at the dining room table because I feel like this is what friends would do when they're chatting about these things, and I feel like we're there at this point in life. But I want to make this quick video to pop in, and this is definitely geared toward my growing area, my local area, but this is information anybody can utilize. But these are crops that you could tell by the title. If you hear some wild banshees, it's my children. It's a over 50 degree day, and they're just like the first time the snow's melted off the trampoline in months, and they are wild banshees today. So if you hear that, they're fine. They're just crazy. And we gotta get the wiggles out because this cold snap is coming in for us. So it's like Sunday's like a high of 18, I think. Okay. Storage crops. All vegetables are not storage crops. You'll have an onion. Let's give you this is what I like to grow a lot of, is a lot of storage onions. Actually, I like to grow a lot of storage crops, and I'm like learning. Are you crooked this whole time? And this has kind of been my goal since I've learned about storage crops, is I want to grow enough food for my family to have for, not like necessarily like well, I want it for the entire year, but it's not going to be like all of my family eats. We're not just going to be eating vegetables all year, but I want that to last. So like a year's worth of potatoes, a year's worth of garlic, a year's worth of onions, and so on and so forth. And there's some vegetables we like way better than others, and you'll hear about that now. But first, when you go and pick out a seed, and this is your goal, like you want to put up food for the winter. Now this is January, and everything that's in this bowl is what I have been able to put up successfully and have learned. There's not actually that many things that I have mastered in here, but I keep adding to the list, and I think that's the beauty of it. So you get to see what I'm doing and see what's been working, and not all things have worked successfully for me, and I am tenacious though, and I do not quit. So like an onion, there are storage varieties. If this was not a storage variety of onion, this would not be good still. It is good, it's not sprouting, it's a red wing. I could cut off the thing or whatever and make it look prettier. It's just what I needed to just throw it in the crate. This is a red wing storage onion. This is a hybrid from Johnny's. You can get heirloom storage varieties. You can get all sorts of ones, but if the seed packet does not specify that it's not, like if it doesn't say great for storage, it is not a storage variety. They need to say they're great for storage. There's lots of onions like a Walla Walla. It's such high sugar content that it is not good for storage. So, and the same goes for a lot of things. There's some sugary, like I have a sugar snack carrot. It's good for fresh eating. It doesn't have good storage properties. So you might, if you're looking for storage crops, you might skip on that one or just use that for your fresh eating for summer and what have you. Okay, so onions are a great storage crop. They grow great here. Everything in this bowl and everything I'm about to talk to you about will grow great in our climate and will be fabulously, does well in the heat, does well in the cold. If we get a frost in July, or 5, 10, 15 frosts in July, they will do great. Now, onions has taken me a while to master. This is the first year I have too many, and it's a good problem to have because they make great prezzies you give to your family and things. Now, I just went and got these out, and I had grabbed some out at Thanksgiving, and I had enough to get us through. And I need to go through my bin because they're starting to get mushy. Some of them are going bad, so you got to get them out. So these are some storage onions. I have a few in here. They're all doing really good. Grew these from seed. I highly recommend growing onions from seed. Different varieties, Patterson and Red Wing onion. The next one, I'm going to go for the ones that I have in my bowl. Okay. So these carrots, I'm going to fair warn you, these are a storage variety. Obviously, this is the whole topic of this video. They're dirty. I just pulled them out. They haven't been washed. So, but I thought it'd be beneficial for you to see what it looks like. This has been stored in sterile potting soil. It's starting to sprout. Here's a quick tip. When your onions or anything that you're growing or storing starts to sprout, if you're wanting to be more self-sufficient, which I am, you can, for a carrot, you can cut off the top and then put it back in the soil and wait, and then plant it out in the spring. And this will be your seed crop for this coming year. Also for onions, when they start to sprout, you can plant them back into the ground and they go to seed, and there's your seed crop for onions. Obviously, same for potatoes when they get the eyes. We'll talk about that in a bit. But this is a Bolero storage carrot. This is one of my smaller ones. My small tote. We're still working on one of my totes out of 2, and there's quite a few. I had placed them in one tote very evenly with potting soil. You dampen it a little bit. One I did like perfectly even and like very precisely placed them and put the dirt. And the other one, I was just, by the time I got to that one, this big tote, I just started throwing them in and covering them. And this is actually what this carrot is. And there is one little bad spot here, but you can easily peel that off. But this is kind of what I wanted to let you hear. Yeah. If you want to hear it again. Do you hear that crunch? This carrot was harvested in the summer. So, and I don't have a root cellar. I don't have anything special. I just did the dirt. I am going to try another method this coming year, which is just totes with no dirt in it. And you do this method, you're not supposed to wash your carrots, you're supposed to put them in. The guy that I watched, he washed his carrots, put them in clean, dry and clean, and then drilled holes in a tote and put them in a cool area, and it worked great. I'm going to try that this year. I'll probably do both because I know this method works. It is messy, like when you grab them out, you're just filthy. But I mean, a crispy carrot in January, guys. It's the end of January and we got a long ways to go. They are sprouting, but clip it off. You can peel these potatoes. My kids, I just wash them, scrub them good, and they eat them just like that. I don't need to peel them. So there, I have a bunch of, this is a purple one. Yeah, like, come on, man, like, that's awesome. I can't get over it. This is the first year I've successfully stored carrots in like a non-refrigerated way. This is how the stores do it. They buy storage crops, so carrots you're eating now are typically grown in the summer or the spring, and they store them. So sometimes when you're like, man, this carrot doesn't have much flavor, that's why. It's been stored for a year. Okay, another crop I grew, potatoes. This is one of my favorite crops. What I did for these, I didn't wash them. I just threw them, harvested them. I didn't even cure them. Typically, you're supposed to like lay them out for a few weeks. I put them in breathable feed bags that we had from cow feed. They're like a burlap sack would work. It's similar to that. These ones are kind of like that, but I don't think they're like more of a nylon-y. I don't know what they are. But no, I don't have any sprouts on any of my potatoes. No eyes or anything. So I know that if they start sprouting, you can just go in and do that, but I haven't had it. This has been the best storage year, and I have about half of my potatoes left, and we're about to cut back. I had just bought some at Walmart, regular potatoes. They had a deal for a 10-pound bag for 50 cents, so I bought 4 bags of those. So just kind of substitute, because I'm trying to save mine for my own seed next year. And so I grabbed plenty of those. And then the last crop I have grown a lot of is garlic. You want to plant your garlic in the fall. It's a great storage crop. It does great here. You'll get some soft ones, but then none of these are. Oh, that one might be. You can clean them up, make them look better. I just do it when I cook. As I get better time management, maybe I'll do it. Oh, here's another onion. So I just got a bunch of potatoes. There, guys, I'm just super impressed. I have a cold room. It's not heated or anything. It's towards the back of my house. It's just kind of awkward. These are the crops that I have mastered that do really well here, but I want to talk to you about some other crops that you can grow. Keep in mind, they need to be storage. Potatoes are storage, so don't worry about those. As far as I'm aware of, you're good there. You can also store sweet potatoes. They're a great storage crop. The one thing about them is that we get frost in summer, and they're not frost hardy, so there's that. So just bear that in mind. You might not have the greatest success. I'm going to try and grow a ton of them in my high tunnel this year and see what luck and success I have with that. And hopefully it does well. As far as onions go, you can also store leeks, which I have a couple leeks. The deer kind of got to mine before I got a good harvest out of them. but they, I got some leeks that are storing. They're doing fine. They get a little gross and you just peel off the outer layers. Shallots do great as well. So as far as the onion garlic family goes, they do very well. Carrots, as you can tell, just make sure they're a storage variety. Beets can do well. I'm not the biggest fan of beets, but my cow is, so I would love to incorporate storing beets or turnips and rutabagas, all storage crops. You can also store cabbages. Now, they have to be a storage variety. I'm just gonna keep repeating this because I feel like this is very important. If you just grow a regular cabbage that's not a storage variety, you're not gonna have good success. And I want to set you up for success as much as possible. So last year I grew enough cabbages to give. I gave a ton to my sister. I grew a ton. I was able to chop up a ton, and then I got so busy with the rest of the season, and it actually went bad in my fridge. That's just raw honesty for you. So I didn't even get to make my sauerkraut I wanted, but my friend Kathleen made me some, and I still have a can of that. So the goal this year would be able to put up my cabbages for storage. They do get gross on the outside, and that's the thing. You're not going to get a perfect storage thing. You're going to have blemishes like on this carrot I showed you. Sometimes you're going to have them go mushy. Sometimes the one's going to go bad, and then it's going to be like this nasty thing you have to clean out. And it's kind of just the fact. Your potatoes are going to grow eyes, although mine haven't. That's awesome. I can't believe it. But it's not going to be the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. But keep in mind, things at the grocery store, they're doing the same thing. That's how the grocery store does it. If you're eating apples in March, they're from the fall. They're from late summer. We're so disconnected from our food system that we forget, or we've completely lost how this goes. The growing storage crops are just skipping the step of the grocery store. So essentially, if you're already growing carrots, if you're already doing all of this, just take it one step further and grow a bounty. I have 4 bins of onions, like totes of onions in my back room. I have about 1 bag of potatoes left, so I probably still have 60 pounds of potatoes left. I have 2 totes of onions left and a smaller apple bin of garlic left. We need to start eating it. We need to make it a priority to make it into things to get these carrots ate up before the new crop comes in. And I think partially that they're back and out of sight, out of mind makes it so, but I have to be intentional about it. So that is where I'm at, where I need to be a little more intentional with eating what we have and doing it that way and preparing it. My boys love carrots. They love potatoes. We just got to do it. I'm not really worried about the potatoes. I'm worried about having enough for seed, which is also part of it. So I've talked to you about the sprouts that you can save for seed and all of these things. Your garlic cloves, when you start growing them, you can just carrot top. You can start, this is a little guy, but you can start growing what I did this fall when we harvested them, or late summer. I took my best cloves and replanted them. I had kind of a spindly garlic year. It wasn't my best year, but it was my first year growing from my own seed, which doesn't sound great, but I've learned from my mistakes. Learning from my mistakes. And I think that is the beauty of being a gardener. You will fail. You will grow spindly garlic. You will leave your onions in a bin and not check them, and they start sprouting and rotting, and then you have to deal with that. Or you put your carrots in a clear tote and they start sprouting, I think because they had light. That is the thing. You're gonna make mistakes, and making these mistakes is how you learn. If you have to be tenacious enough to keep going, you have to be a gardener in any climate. You have to be this way. In the South, you deal with humidity and the heat and all of this. And in La Pine, we deal with frost in summer and short seasons and what have you. But we have to be tenacious as gardeners. And if you're starting to learn to save money on your food bill, I really hope that this is helpful. But I should have started this video with this, but I want to put this in. This is very important. No matter how much food you are growing, do not count on it for your food. For your only food. It is so important to grow your own food. I will go down with that. But it is also very important to have backups. And especially in this day and age, if you are relying solely on your garden, don't. Shop the sales, shop the deals, get your pantry full as well with store-bought goods. Now, sometimes it might not be it's not going to be as good as what you can grow. If you find a smoking hot deal on potatoes, 50 cents for 10 pounds, put them up, can them up, get it going. Like, start preserving your food now. You don't have to wait until you're growing a bountiful crop. Get food in the pantry. It's of the utmost importance to just get what you can. I don't care if it's a can of Campbell's soup. I don't care if it's a Walmart off-brand, whatever. It's so important and so dire to get food in your pantry. Get a back stock. Get your family going. And if you're watching this video and you're worried about the future, or you're wondering how to grow food, you obviously have an inkling of the times we're in. And it is nothing to be fearful of. It can be fearful, but if you choose to be, I've heard this expression, a lot of times we are fearful if we're unprepared. But if we are prepared, then when things happen, or job loss or economic collapse or war or anything, natural disasters happen, you have the security you need. And learning to grow your own food, which is why I think it's so important, is one, you take your family's livelihood and you are feeding the mouths of your family instead of being reliant on a grocery store or relying on whatever. There's too many life circumstances that could happen that can take away your food source. So why not learn? Yeah, you might, if you're relying on your crop of potatoes to come in, but then the frost comes in the summer and nips them back, and your yield isn't as good because they keep getting nipped back. Potatoes are tenacious. Like a Central Oregonian gardener, when the frost comes back, they will knock your potatoes if they are not covered, but they will keep coming back, and keep coming back. You might, like I said, they might be putting the energy into growing back their plant life, the greens and the buds and stuff, but it'll keep coming and you will get a potato harvest. But say some crazy piglets get in and they decimate half your potato bed. This happened to me. And have some canned potatoes up, have some things up, or the deer get in and eat a quarter of your carrots. Happened to me. There's things beyond our control that we cannot guarantee that crop or a great crop harvest. If money's tight, you can do it slow. You can do it small. A couple cans at a time, just pop them in the pantry. And the more you go, the steadier you keep doing it, you have a pantry. So growing your own food, learning how to grow storage crops is very important. You have a skill. It is building skills. But things happen. Natural disasters happen. My parents got 6 inches of hail in less than an hour on July 3rd. Decimated their crops. They did come back, but you don't know. One thing after another, you get evacuated for a forest fire. You can't water your garden. It dies. Have backups in place as well. It's very important, guys. So thanks you for following along. I hope this was education. I hope this was educational for you, because I feel it's really cool. I mean, cracking a carrot open in the end of January, almost February, is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. It brings me delight, and I hope you can tell that. Anyways, thanks guys for following along. I'll see you guys probably on Sunday. Here we go. Look at me uploading videos. Now this is up on Thursday late at night, not Wednesday. I've been organizing like a fool, so I got exhausted yesterday. But I'll see you guys. I'm exiting. Bye guys.